Many seek the path to victory, but only one can stand glorious over all. From the Badlands come the orcs and goblins, a green tide of brutal creatures that must be stopped.
Hello and welcome to another Total War Warhammer guide. Today we're looking at one of the most fun and possibly worst units in the Orc and Goblin, the Greenskin army. Today we're looking at the Goblins, the Night Goblins and the Fanatics. So first we're taking a look at Goblins. Here they are. The good thing is they are cheap, and there are a lot of them. They come in units of 120. They've got shields, so that helps protect them against missile infantry. They're expendable. This unit is comparably cheap to recruit, maintain and replenish. Oh, I feel bad for them. They have got pretty bad leadership. They will rout easily. So basically you can't use them on their own. They have no real effect. So you need to use them en masse and make sure their flanks and their rear are secure. So they have 25 armor plus their shields. They've got leadership of 50. And kind of nothing to write home about anything. These are cheap, expandable units that you just sort of throw into combat and hope for the best, really. They need to be helped by other bigger, more elite units. So these almost just a numbers game. You might have, say, like a unit of Savage Orcs or Black Orcs or something fighting their main enemy, and send these guys in from the flank, or use them as little wedges, or just to tie up another unit. If they've got a couple of units of Pistoliers or Outriders, send these off on the flank to try and counter those away, so they're going to go off chasing these goblins for ages. That would be a perfect use for these guys. Next up, we've got Night Goblins, and they're just basically the same goblins but from a different clan, and they've got big hats. So what don't you love about big hats? Their stats are pretty similar. They have even less. They are shielded. They're not expendable, but they do have poison attacks, meaning that their damage reduce the target's speed and damage whilst increasing its vigor. So that's really, really helpful. That's the sort of main difference. They have even less armor than their goblin friends. They also have less leadership, same speed, and the rest pretty sort of similar. These guys have got a slightly better charge bonus, and they do have the ability to deploy in a vanguard formation, which basically vanguard means you can deploy them outside of the normal deployment zone, which is really good. Hide a couple of these units in the wood just as little flank charger units, little cheap expendable flank charge units. Very, very good. The next unit we're going to look at kind of looks exactly the same, but they've got a difference. These are one of the most annoying. If you play the tabletop game, you will know how annoying Goblin Fanatics are. Nearly all players will not take normal units of goblins. They will because they're kind of so cheap and expendable, and they run away so much. So yeah, so I'll show you these in action shortly to see what the difference is. But as of now, they look the same. They fight the same. They have a special range weapon. I'm not going to show you it. If you don't know, I'm not going to show you it. Yeah, so we'll go. Let's just get into a fight so we can see them in action. So these are against our two favoured skirmish units. We'll just line them up here for the time being. They do have archers, which are going to be quite painful. Even with the shields, that only prevents 50%. Who have we got with them? We've got an Orc War Boss with them, so I might try and use him to soak up a bit of the damage before we get into combat. So we'll send them over here. I'll speed this up a little bit. I'll send me Walk Boss over there just to have a wander. So first off, we're going to send in the two units of goblins, the Night Goblins and the Goblins. They, like I said, slightly subtle differences in the way they fight, but not hugely so. Right, so we're keeping our Fanatics behind for now. Right, so they're going to get rained upon. I think they've got a unit of archers. They obviously haven't seen me yet because they're lining up in totally the wrong way. So we're going to get shot at here coming up. They do look pretty special charging in. Go on, lads! Go on, lads! Here come the archers. Right, so we're going to charge into a bunch of spearmen. Go get them, boys! Go get them, boys! So, obviously, even though these are just spearmen men-at-arms with shield, they still are much better than goblins. We'll see how this fight goes for a short while. Let's speed this up a little bit just to see if we can defeat these two units, this single unit. So obviously it's 2 versus 1. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. I think just with numbers, it looks like we're winning. Because obviously, you know, they've got a unit of 90. We've got 240 goblins here. So we're just gonna run these off, which they're not going to be happy about. I'm actually going to try and get them to root by just sort of charging them off. But they're doing alright. They hold their own, you know. Don't miss... what's the word? Yeah, okay. Don't underestimate these guys, because they can do a fair amount of damage. Let's charge their leader. Yeah, one unit's starting to waver a little bit here. Right. But they're doing all right. Remember, we're only fighting men at arms, so it's kind of the one of the cheapest troops of the. So these first unit look like they're about to break. Yeah, they're gone. They're out of it. Now we send in the Fanatics. Once they finish mopping up our troops. So the Fanatics have a special ability when they get into combat. Run away, boys, run away. Actually, just stop there. You can take the archer fire. So we're going to see the Fanatics in action. They have a special ability just as they close for combat. And these Fanatics, it's a normal Night Goblin, but hidden amongst them are these fanatical Night Goblins with ball and chains, basically. And they just swing about wildly like crazy people. They often kill themselves because they're just swinging this ball that probably weighs twice as much as they do. So here we go. I don't know quite how, can't remember quite how close it is that they unleash. Right, here's a Fanatic. There he goes. He is swinging about like an absolute... And he's gone. So, not the best... They are... It's totally random as to how your Fanatics will do. Sometimes, and they do massive amounts of damage. If they connect, even with like Reiksguard Knights or Demigryphs, in the tabletop game, you would... If you knew you were facing an Orc and Goblin army, you would buy cheap units of troops just to draw out those Fanatics, because the Fanatics only really come out, you know, when they close on the enemy. So you send in a unit that knows it's probably going to die, but it just gets stuck in. Okay, they run away like little babies, little babies. So as I said, as I was sort of describing how you'd use these guys in battle. The first two units, the Night Goblins and Goblins, I'd use them as either just decoys, maybe hidden away somewhere, just to keep another army unit that's much more expensive busy, or use them as part of your main battle force, but backed up by much more elite troops, just to keep them happy and make sure their flanks are safe, they don't get charged in the rear. That would be the worst thing in the world. The Night Goblins you can use the same way, but more frontline, because you want those Fanatics to come out and do the damage. But also you could have a cheeky little unit or two hidden in trees just for a surprise ambush. For those Reiksguard Knights that are flanking round the back, you know, if they come across a unit of Night Goblins, if here comes a Fanatic, look, it hurts your own troops as well, just to let you know. He's fantastic. But they do a ridiculous amount of damage. So even against, like I say, Reiksguard Knights, surprise a unit of those with Fanatics, and you will decimate. If they hit, if it's a big if, but if they hit, it will decimate that unit. There we go, guys. There's our little guide to the Goblins of the Greenskin army. Have fun using them. Let me know your tactics and your favourite units in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. We've got tons more content coming out, all the unit guides, all the good stuff. It's going to be fun. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Bye bye.